Channel 2 and Lion Red proudly present Winfield Cup action in Aussie League on 2.
Three games to go in the New South Wales Premiership, and the Cronulla Sharks are playing for revenge. After losing their first 5 games of the season, the tide turned. They're now a respectable halfway up the ladder and wreaking havoc among the top 5. 2 weeks ago, they downed the Premiership leaders, St George, 18-6. 2 weeks before that, with only 12 men, they nearly upset Brisbane at home. And today they want to avenge a first-round drubbing from the Raiders. Canberra haven't won here since 1987, but that's history given their current form. That magic combination of Stewart, Daly and Meninga has seen Canberra rise to within a point of the top of the table. Complacency is their biggest enemy. 2 weeks ago, Balmain exploited it, recovering from a huge half-time deficit for a draw. But one thing is guaranteed when Canberra play: entertainment. Live from Caltex Field, it's the Cronulla Sharks versus the Canberra Raiders. Well, here are the Sharks out onto the field, and their lineup goes like this. Young Ben Samet at fullback, Lindsay Bowen on one wing, Chris Quinn and Paul Bell in the centres, Paul Evans the other winger, Andrew Eddinghausen at 5'8", Mitch Healy, really he is the key at halfback, has been in tremendous form, Andrew Pearce at lock forward, Les Davidson and Dan Staines in the second row, Robbie Kearns, Aaron Raper and Danny Lee in the engine room. And there's E.T. He's been playing at 5'8" over the last couple of months after experiments at fullback and centre over the last couple of years in the Cronulla side. But he really has settled into the 5'8" role alongside Mitch Healy. And Dan Staines missed last week. He's the skipper. Here come the Raiders, a team in superb form through most of this season. A slight hiccup when they allowed Balmain back into that game 2 weeks ago. But a very important game if they are to secure a top 3 spot. Gary Belcher is at fullback, Noah Nandruku on the wing, Mal Meninga and Brett Mullins the centres, Sean Hoppy the other winger, Laurie Daly at 5'8", Ricky Stewart at halfback. What a backline it is. Jason Croker at lock forward with Brad Clyde still a couple of weeks away. Quentin Ponga and David Furner in the second row. John Lomax, Steve Walters, Paul Osborne up front. Referee for this match is Eddie Ward. We've had Eddie for a number of Saturday matches lately. Cool, calm conditions, in fact, perfect for a game of football. And the surface here at Caltex Field also in pretty good nick as Danny Lee brings it back. And we would expect to see Cronulla fired up. And they've got a backline set here right across to the wing, and here they go immediately, swinging it wide, attacking from their own quarter. And if that's the tactics to start the game, well, they've put the match plan into practice.
Well, that's right, Warren. Cronulla have nothing to lose here this afternoon. They're playing for, I think they're playing for credibility and for, I think, for Artie this afternoon more than anything. No one expects them to win. They believe in themselves, and I reckon they're going to have a big show here this afternoon, especially this bloke here, Les Davison. He's been playing tremendous football of late.
It'll be interesting to see if the tactics continue for 80 minutes. You were talking about beating Canberra by turning the ball inside. Recently, Alan Jones was saying that you can beat Canberra by playing their own game back at them, moving them around. And there's Ben Samet kicking downfield to Gary Belcher. After copping a bit of criticism a couple of weeks ago, Gary Belcher has bounced back. Mind you, the criticism you would think was, the way it's been reported, was as if it was coming from the media. It seemed to me it was coming from inside the Raiders camp, maybe even from the coach. But if there was any doubts about his ability, he has bounced back. Here's John Lomax, 8 metres short of halfway.
These are the games, the one you expect to win for Canberra. I mean, they're expected to win here this afternoon. They're the most difficult ones. You've got to get enthusiastic, and you've really got to play for, well, you know, I mean, they're playing for a top 3 spot, so, you know, it's going to be tough.
Ricky Stewart puts it down into the corner, and Lindsay Bowen brings it back. It's a very young Cronulla lineup, particularly in the back line, but they've been showing plenty of spark lately. David Furner powers up and takes Samet the fullback down. Raper, they swing it wide through Evans, and trying to bust tackles out there is Danny Staines. just short of the 20. Now Danny Lee goes up the blind side. And he put a foot into touch. It looked as if he was well in field. The tackle must have just carried him too close to that line.
Yeah, well, down here trying to utilise the short blind side. One of those unfortunate... Yeah, just like...
Well, Brett Mullins pulled his feet around onto the touchline.
A lot of trouble out there. Dan Stain seems to be limping. It's a big problem if he has to come off, captain.
Now Lomax with Daly coming around him. Stewart bounces away from Raper. Meninga quickly onto Belcher. Good passing by Canberra. The 20 metres out. Hop. They can go either way here. Stewart spins it out to no one. Nandruku picks it up. Pops a pass to Croker. Croker down the touchline. Over in the corner. Well, how did he get away? Cronulla seemed to have it covered after the loose pass was picked up by Nandruku. And really, Jason Croker should have been caught on that touchline. Canberra score, what you'd have to say was a soft try. It's 4 points to 0. Certainly they moved the ball wide, but Cronulla had 3 defenders there. Stewart, I don't know who he intended to pick up, but Nandruku picked it up nicely from his feet. And the winger there, Lindsay Bound, came in on Nandruku. I suppose he figures I'm man-on-man with my winger, but he should have read the play better.
Yeah, well, Canberra are very good here. They worked to the middle. They had 2 options either side of the field. That pass went astray. That did play around with the Cronulla defence, and Eddinghausen there, unfortunately, couldn't get across to that cover defence early enough.
Yeah, Ricky Stewart had plenty of men outside. Well, he usually finds them, but that was beautiful hands by Nandruku.
He drew 2 players in beautifully there.
Great support play too by Jason Croker, the lock forward. David Furner from the touchline with a 60% success rate. It's a difficult one. It looks good. It's a great kick, fading off the upright and in. And Canberra leads 6 points to 0. Just a couple of minutes of play gone.
Very handy start there, Warren.
Osborne took the ball up just to create some yards out wide. This was probably meant for Pongia, that pass, but Nandruku did well. He knew that Croker was coming around the back. Good awareness there. And Croker's got a lot of speed. I think Bound came in unnecessarily, but he probably thought that Nandruku's his man.
So after only 4 minutes of play, the Raiders post their first try of the match. It does sometimes happen. I can remember earlier this season, we had a match between Canberra and Parramatta where Canberra started out. They blitzed the Eels. They were on fire. They looked as if they were going to go 50-0. And all of a sudden, Parramatta came right back at them and went on with it. Here's Mullins chasing the kick. Finds touch just inside the Cronulla half.
Well, this is going to pose the Sharkies a lot of trouble. Ricky Stewart's kicking game, he's certainly, he's the finest in the game, without a doubt. And really turning the Cronulla Sharks back all the time is certainly a frustrating affair. But Eddinghausen going into the lock 4 position here from the scrum. Interesting to note.
And Les Davidson moves out into the back line. You can expect him to get the ball. Here he is. And he gives Daly something to think about. Pops it back to Samet. And he is elusive. He skips away from one tackle.
That's good positive stuff by Cronulla. Davidson's always been good at offloading. That's why he was put 3 passes wide. There were 2 passes off the scrum. They knew he was going to pop a ball. Good tactics.
Canberra make you pay, don't they? Danny Lee went over the touchline, and the next set of 6 from the scrum, they score a try. Oh, a heavy tackle comes in on Andrew Pearce.
A little bit high.
No reaction from Eddie Ward or the touch judge. And there was Meninga and Stewart both grabbing across the top of the shoulders. Didn't do too much damage, though. Robbie Kearns. Surprised in the last couple of weeks there have been quite a few high tackles being allowed to go on without anything more than a penalty. And here is a penalty going to Cronulla. It's against Laurie Daly, holding down in the tackle.
These are the things that players and coaches hate, getting penalised on the 6th tackle.
Let's take a look at the for and against records for these 2 teams. You see there that Canberra superior in both categories. Canberra the best attacking side in the competition with the 5th best defensive record, and Cronulla down the ladder. In fact, their position on the ladder a little better than their for and against would indicate. So they've won a few games narrowly. Here's Dan Staines taking it forward. They're only 15 out here, Cronulla. On the blind side, cut out ball goes to Lee. It went straight across the face of Davidson. Here's Mitch Healy. He almost breaks the tackle of Pongia. In fact, he does, but inside Lomax got him. Raper, Staines, Eddinghausen. Out to Bell. Bell flicks it back inside for Bound. He puts it down. I thought it went forward. Referee Ward said it was okay. Last tackle coming up to Raper. Up high, coming down near the post. This will test Belcher. Up they go. It's anyone's ball. Healy's got it. It's going to be a try. The referee checks with the in goal, says fair try to Mitch Healy. So Cronulla hit back in the 8th minute. It's 6-4 with a kick to come. Canberra in front, but the score should be level after Mitch Healy attempts to convert his own try. Good backup, but it was always on as Aaron Raper put up a perfect bomb. Plenty of time for players to get through, to challenge high for it. Anyone's ball, close to the post. Look, Gary Belcher couldn't even get to it because of the upright, and Mitch Healy, standing 5 metres away, picks it up.
Well, that's the perfect bomb, isn't it, Warren? Aaron Raper, I'm a very big fan of Aaron Raper. He's certainly a great up-and-coming player who's been a great find here for Cronulla. It's a perfect bomb. It hits the upright, ricochets, and there's a 4-pointer.
Healy has kicked 38 from 58. He's kicked 2/3 of all his attempts this season. This is pretty close to the posts, and the scores are level. It's 6 points all, and it looks as if the ball is going to move around this paddock today. 16 minutes of play gone. It's 6 all between Canberra and Cronulla as Daly hunts wide. Now he gives it to Mullins, and Evans had come in, but Hoppy wasn't able to get the pass from Mullins. Penalty to Canberra against Chris Quinn, knocking him down as he was trying to play the ball. Mullins fighting to his feet. He took a bit of a dive, didn't he?
Yeah, a real good look at the ref.
They're only 20 out as they take the tap. Osborne, hit by Kearns, who rolls backwards. Stewart, Hoppy, almost through. Davidson just managed to hang on to him. Walters, only 5 out, Steve Walters. Stewart, long ball for Daly. He gets it wide to Meninga. He shows it inside, goes out to Hoppy, comes off the touchline. 12 metres out, still a couple of tackles to go. Stewart looking wide, but he couldn't find his target. They all got in his road. Last tackle coming up now. Daly might kick for Ndruku. Here he does. He flies through. Lindsay Bound takes it in the field of play. Tries to get back out of the in goal, into touch. So in the end it was a fairly poor result, but having taken it in the field of play, I guess he really had no choice.
No, it's a good result for Canberra here. Great kick here by Laurie Daly. Puts a lot of pressure on, and Ndruku comes through and unfortunately can't get the ball, but
good tackle by Croker.
Very good defence.
Canberra scrum feed. Stewart. Daly. What'll he work this time? Dummies to 2. Goes himself to Belcher up in the line. 1-on-1. It's Hoppy for the corner. Hoppy over. Hoppy scrambles over. The referee awards the try. The injection of Gary Belcher from fullback as the 2 centres went inside on the decoy run. Daly linked up with his fullback, and that enabled Hoppy to just get outside Paul Evans on the wing. Simple play, but beautifully executed. There goes Meninga, there goes Mullins, kept a bit of defence inside. Belcher makes the extra man. Number 5 against number 5, and Hoppy, though knocked over, scrambles to the line.
Well, you can't allow Canberra to have 2 sets of 6 in your own 22. They're devastating out wide, as we saw there. Belcher made the extra man by coming into the line, and Hoppy, plenty of confidence in his own speed, gets a good 4-pointer.
The New Zealand winger, who started out representing in '92 against PNG and Great Britain, and then of course against Australia this year. David Furner kicked his first shot from an identical position on the other side of the field to this. Will it come around? A great kick from David Furner. 2 out of 2, both of them very hard shots. It's 12-6 in favour of the Raiders.
What a great confidence booster that is.
Yeah, look at Laurie Daly. He slots across field here. There's players coming inside. It's still 3-on-3. Evans is just beaten for pace with Hoppy, but Lorrydale is causing all sorts of problems, because if you go to him quickly, he'll play anyway, so he'll put a ball inside if you want to come out of the line at him.
These two sides have met 23 times since 1967, when Cronulla entered well, in fact, when Canberra entered the competition in 1982. Of course, Cronulla started in 67, and Canberra won 14 of those 23 meetings. So both two of the newer clubs, and Canberra have certainly made their mark in a short time with 4 grand final appearances. Belcher. Pongia, and the pass was forward. The player got in the road of Brett Mullins at marker, and he held the pass up trying to swing it around the Cronulla player, and the pass went forward. Only just. I think that we might have been okay. The referees, now that they're back 10 metres, it's difficult to judge, and I believe they've been told to crack down on forward passes from the dummy half. Now Bell slips over, Meninga picks it up. Very simple error by Cronulla on the first tackle. And away comes Walters. Stewart to Meninga. Only 13 metres out. Canberra have had most of the field position. Have been in this area quite a few times already as Lomax tries to swivel out of the tackle. 8 out now. Stewart to the blind side. Pops it to Osborne, on it goes to Croker. Croker for the line, fighting for his second try. And gets it down. And Jason Croker, the right man in the right place. The second time he's scored already in this match. It's 16-6 all of a sudden to Canberra, after it's been a fairly even match. The Raiders suddenly putting on their third try. Lomax taking it forward. Stewart is positioned on the open side here. He suddenly cuts across the ruck. Picks up Osborne, a beautiful quick pass from Paul Osborne, and Croker fights over in the tackle of Eddinghausen.
Yeah, Ricky Stewart here makes the play. He comes from one side of the ruck to the other, cuts out a player, gives it to Osborne, who gives a great ball there to Croker. And his strength just gets him over.
First 2 kicks have been beauties. And this one might not have the legs. Just goes wide as well. He didn't hit that as sweetly. But Canberra suddenly race away, 16 points to 6.
Yeah, Ricky Stewart transferring himself from one side of the ruck. That was the pass that put it on Osborne, but Bound came in on Croker and missed him. He could have saved that situation. He could have come off his wing and got Croker, but Croker's strength was handy in the end.
Cronulla put themselves under a lot of pressure by simple mistakes.
Benny, that's the 3rd error that Cronulla have made, and Canberra have punished them severely.
Yeah. That's probably the difference between Cronulla and the likes of a Brisbane or Canberra. Those two top sides throw the ball around, but the passes find their mark. Cronulla try to play them at their own game, but haven't been able to make the passes stick.
Yeah, Warren, if Canberra made an error in their own quarter, you know, the Sharks would be up there doing something, but they haven't got the talent that Canberra have. Canberra and Brisbane, you make a mistake in your quarter, gee, they make you pay for it.
Here's Meninga now. Pops a beautiful pass to Croker. Away goes Pongia. He sprints away from Dan Staines, who must have pulled a muscle because he just couldn't chase. Surely Quentin Pongia's not as fast as to leave Dan Staines standing the way he did, but beautiful football by Canberra. And what was looking to be a very competitive game has suddenly turned into a rout. Canberra 20, Cronulla 6. Here they go again, the Raiders. Paul Osborne sights the little hole, got his arm through beautifully. Meninga fired a wonderful pass inside to Croker, quickly on to Pongia, and he sprints away with ease. There was no more cover. And Pongia scoring his second. He's just come back from suspension.
It's been a very good bye for Canberra.
Compared to his first 3 kicks, this was dead set easy for David Furner. This is about 10 metres off centre field. Very gloomy conditions here. And he misses. Can you believe it? The last kick must have knocked his confidence around. But not his sides. It's 20 points to 6 in favour of the Raiders. Wesley. He too manages to fight his arms free. He was almost ready to pass. Only 6 metres out. A try here will absolutely silence Cronulla. Meninga. Mullins. Still not far out. Meninga shoves one out of his road. He got rid of Quinn. Out now to Hoppy. They managed to hold him. They've got one tackle more. Stewart kicks high across field. Belcher and Andruka are out there. Diamond. Belcher goes up high. And who's got it? Diamond is... It is a try. It is a try. I thought that Diamond had managed to impede him somehow. But from the front on shot...
Well, he was sure that he didn't even look for the in-goal touch touch judge.
24-6 as a beautiful kick across field. Belcher had positioned himself out there. It was a set plan. It looked as if Diamond had it, but out it came, and Mandruku has scored the try.
And doesn't he love scoring tries?
And from this angle, I thought that Diamond had come down with it, but as we can see on the head-on.
There's the second try we've seen from the high ball. And when you've got chases like that, it's always going to be a major threat.
Gary Belcher went right up high over the top of Diamond, but Diamond actually came down with it. But really, there needed to be more Cronulla players coming across to help him out.
It's a very interesting ploy, that. The high kick across field. The Broncos do it very well with Langer and Khan and Langer and Hancock. Yeah, it's a
particularly Willie Khan loves them, and you can see that Belcher and Andruka do as well. And it's 17 tries.
He'd have to be the buy of the year, wouldn't he? He'd have to be the buy of the year, that bloke.
Now Furner. This is where he missed from a moment ago. He's getting plenty of shots from the same positions on the paddock. And off the upright for the second time in the game and bounces in. He's having a checkered career with his kicking so far today, David Furner, but it's all Canberra. It's 26-6, and we've got 9 minutes till half-time.
Well, look at the width that Canberra got anyway. Those chases right here on the wing. And it's to their advantage. Look, Belcher tried to get over the top of Craig Diamond. Craig Diamond made an error, but you've got a real start on players when you can leap over the top of them.
They slotted Nal Meninga into the 5'8" position from the scrum.
He goes himself. 3 of them come in to take care of him. Now what will they do with the next tackle? Oh no, just out of dummy half. Back to Walters.
This is hurting Cronulla a little, the way that Canberra's starting to offload in tackles. You use up a lot of petrol if you're consistently trying to shut the ball down.
Pongia bounces away from Eddinghausen and Bell, that they come again. Lee. Lomax up the blind side. He's strong. Stewart elects to kick and finds touch. That time Ricky Stewart happy to play the percentages rather than the adventurous game.
Yeah, I think Canberra just getting back to playing their sets of 6 and playing at their pace now. They're in control of this game, and Ricky Stewart there just thought he'd slow it down a little by putting it in the touch.
Not long till half-time. 26-6 in favour of the Raiders. Eddinghausen to Samet. And Belcher rides him to ground. Kearns. Ankle tap by Mullins. In fact, this was Robbie Kearns this time. The runner was Quinn. Now the penalty against Wesley.
Penalties now 3-all.
Here's Wesley, just comes in late with a flop, and he's already been spoken to before. The second time he's conceded a penalty for the late tackle. And
yeah, that's a good decision.
Unnecessary tackle. He's just showing his inexperience, David Wesley, compared to the rest of the Canberra players. They slow you down, but they don't go on with it too far.
They got it down to a T.
A chance for Canberra, I should say for Cronulla here, with only a few seconds till half-time. And referee Ward telling them to get back to their goal line. They're saying, but the tap is 2 metres, 12 metres out. 2 metres beyond the 10-metre line, so why have we got to go back? Half-time siren goes. Eddinghausen puts it up high. It's a pretty useful kick too. They're through underneath it. Up goes Bell. Canberra have got it though through Mullins. Mandruku quickly swinging out wide in case he could get the ball to him. But that's half-time. And in some ways disappointing because it started out in great fashion as if Cronulla could really take this game to Canberra. But the Raiders have smashed their way back into the game with 5 tries to 1, and it's 26-6 at the break.
Let's see if Cronulla can do something tricky here.
Quinn, that was pretty tricky.
He showed the ball.
Davidson, he's got the offload out the back. Quickly on to Healy. Back inside is Kearns. Long pass out to Samad, but he's hit hard by Meninga. And thrown over. Well, could well have been a penalty. Healy. Oh, bad pass. Eddinghausen had to go back for it. Really didn't seem to know whether he was after Quinn or Eddinghausen. E.T. gets outside 1. 15 out. Pearce.
That's a good settling run.
Andrew Pearce to play it. 6 metres out. Last tackle now for the Sharks. Raper's kick gathered in easily by Steve Walters. That didn't threaten them.
No, I think I would have went up in the air again. It's been successful for him so far.
Meninga met by Davidson. Gee, the two hit like 2 tall buildings crunching into each other in an earthquake. Pongia throws it back. Stewart to Daly. And here they go. Mullins to Hoppy. Hoppy drags out a 1 tackle. Carves his way back inside. Stewart went the wrong way. He needed to stay back infield. Away goes Stewart this time. Nandruku straight up the middle. Taken by Lee. Back to Stewart. Healy comes over the top to knock the pass down. Stewart appealing for a knock on, but Samad gathered it in. Or maybe Stewart was suggesting Samad was offside, but it looked okay. Oh, now that was a dangerous tackle from Mullins. He did release him, but he lifted him in the first place. Andrew Hick, the man who was up in the air and suddenly hurtling downwards.
Yeah, he realised what he was doing and he half pulled out of it.
Mullins trying to stop him, and the aim of the tackle obviously is to get them off their feet so you can stop their momentum, but it's too dangerous. And as John said in the first half, the refs are cracking down. Penalty goes to Cronulla. Canberra knocked back their 10 metres. Eddie Ward's been waving both teams back when these taps have been taken. Healy finds touch, getting on with the job quickly.
Come on, Sharkies.
That's right, you went for the Sharks, didn't you? Davidson has worked hard. He's 15 out. No change in the half-time score after 10 minutes. Still 26-6 in favour of Canberra. Pearce.
Danny Lee has done 24 tackles already.
Steve Henderson is on for the Sharks, a dummy half, but now Steve Walters is going to be spoken to, or is it Wesley?
Warren, if we can have a look at a replay here, this could be what we were talking about earlier.
About the crutch?
Yes. There's Steve. Well, there's that. There's a half a crutch. Half a crutch grab. But they're very sensitive to it today, the referees.
It looked like a thigh, John. You'll have to check out your erogenous zones. But here go the Sharks. They're still only a few metres out. And Davidson goes up the centre. Nandruku falling on the blind side. They're a little short there. Henderson to Healy. Up the middle goes Eddinghausen and scores a try. Beautiful stepping by Eddinghausen. Just puts them down into their minds and showed his speed and deceptive running. Cronulla score the first try of the second half as 26-10 in favour of the Raiders. Healy feeds it out to Eddinghausen. He steps back away from Daly, away from Stewart, away from Belcher. He beat 3 good ones to get there. Pretty easy. There was no one coming from the inside.
No, tremendous balance here. E.T. very good on his feet. See the slide in defence, he goes inside. When you either turn the ball back inside or step back inside with the slide in defence, you'll always get him. And here we see E.T. off his left foot, beautiful step. Badge couldn't do anything. Gary Belcher couldn't do anything there.
So E.T., who joined Cronulla way back in 1983, He's been there for a long time. He's part of the furniture. He decided against going to other clubs this year. 5th try of the season.
Yeah, he's been tremendous for Cronulla, hasn't he?
Now, Mitch Healy, he's fed that pass out to him, right in front. And no problems for him. So the Sharks edge back into the game. They're down by 14 points. It's 26-12 in favour of Canberra, 12 minutes into the second half. Another try would make things interesting if the Sharks can score it. Eddinghausen, Davidson has been hunting out wide. He pops it back. Eddinghausen managed to pull it in. That was a lucky one, but in the end, great work by Davidson.
Well, the Sharkies have got nothing to lose. They're going to throw the ball around. This is good football.
Henderson to Pearce. He bounces away from Meninga. Got the pass to Bell. Meninga's across now. Goes low. Up to the halfway line. The crowd's starting to roar. Kearns takes on Pongia. Great clash. Henderson to Healy. Pops it through for Eddinghausen. He could get to this one. The bounce eludes he and Belcher. Daly manages to get to it. That was a close thing. That could be the turning point.
Yeah, good option there. Very smart, breaking up the kicking game here. E.T. unlucky not to get the bounce. If he got the bounce, it would have been happy days.
Now Stewart kicks for Nandruku.
Oh, very good.
And a Cronulla player, Diamond, fell over as he went to turn. Back goes Samet. Nandruku coming quickly. Samet dives on it. Nandruku there to make the tackle. Samet managed to get away from his goal line. And now is he hurt or is he playing dead?
Well, that's the easiest way to make 60 metres. I mean, very smart play there by Stewart and Nandruku. Seeing the fullback not being home. 60 easy yards.
Well, Samet is clearly hurt. May have had the wind knocked out of him. I thought Stewart thought about the long pass, but in the end, Craig Diamond fell over.
Warren, had the kick gone more to the left and more towards the sideline, could be very dangerous. The Drupal would have won the race.
Yeah, good thinking by Stewart. Davidson plays it back, and Henderson has gone into dummy half for Aaron Raper, who's off the field. Healy. I see to come off the edge of his boot. Finds touch, but only gains 20 metres. Well, it might not be such a bad idea to find touch rather than give Nandruku a chance to come back at you.
That's for sure. Very interested. I think both Brisbane and Canberra, of course we all know that they play similar type of football with the ball. I just think I favour the Broncos a little bit in the forwards, man for man in the forwards. I think the Broncos get them.
Paul Osborne with the ice on his shoulder. Daly standing wide. The long pass comes out to him. Dummies to Mullins. Gives it to Meninga. Eddinghausen underneath. Bell over the top. Pongia hits it up. He's done that well today. At one stage, it looked as if Cronulla were in danger of being thrashed by Canberra. In the first round, the Raiders knocked them over 46-6 at Bruce Stadium. That was Cronulla's 5th loss in a row. They started the season going down to all the top sides because they are in that tough zone. As Croker loses it, Cronulla in that tough zone. Their first 4 losses of the season included Canberra, Brisbane, St George, Canterbury and Parramatta, who were running hot early on. And after losing their first 5, already the rumours started to appear that Arthur Beetson would get the chop. And it was coming from the boardroom. But they've fought back well through the year. 8 wins, 11 losses at this stage. Some heavy treatment on Quinn. He tries to get away from Mullins and Daly. Mullins dives at the heels of Evans. Plenty of spirit in this Cronulla side and organisation in this second half. A lot of purpose as Lee goes forward over the halfway line. Henderson darts away. Ferner gets to him, the pass taken by Steve Walters. I reckon Steve Henderson was entitled to expect a bit more support there.
Yeah.
Stewart quickly goes away. Kearns just gets him. Meninga now. The wobbly tackle comes across from Bell. And Samet. Daly to Ferner. Tearing his way through David Ferner. They're only 20 metres out. Stewart couldn't hang on to it. And the referee checking with his touch judge. The touch judge said it went forward.
It's good to see Eddie Ward looking to his sideline.
Well, the touch judge was in a good position to judge whether it did creep forward from Stewart, unlike Eddie Ward.
Very positive move from the referees to get the touch judges involved. They're coming up with some handy decisions, taking the pressure off referees, and that's the key.
Healy away from the scrum win.
Very interesting, John. Henderson replacing Aaron Raper.
Yeah, Steve Henderson's the son of the late Norm Henderson, who had a stint with Balmain and then St George.
That's Diamond.
Up and away.
John, can you put your finger on why Cronulla are handling better in the second half?
Well, a little more possession, but they're looking after it this time, Warren. I don't know the reason. I think they just, they are still being positive. They're still moving the ball around. Look at that. That's good play, just around the back of the marker area, and a good inside ball. And E.T.'s getting himself involved, you know, and then Arthur would say, well, why did you throw that one? There's a fine line, isn't there?
Yeah, that was bad luck. That was beautiful football to start by Henderson, among others. But now,
well, this is interesting.
Raiders have got a penalty, and what was that for? Well, they never back. I'm not sure. They're going to take the tap. Away goes Daly. He's got a back line with him. Croker spears straight through. Jason Croker all the way to the corner. And I think that's try number 3 for Jason Croker. He did it all himself. He split the line and then raced. Hasn't he got some speed? He really showed him a clean pair of heels here once he got through the line. The quick tap was the secret. They had plenty of numbers there, Canberra, and Cronulla were way short. Look at that. No Sharkies there. And Croker gets outside Davidson and inside another player who was well and truly outnumbered and went all the way.
Yeah, you can see Laurie Daly seeing his vision is terrific, and you know the quick tap, seeing the Sharkies really falling asleep, always outnumbering them, and unfortunately ET's going to have nightmares over this bloke.
Mal Meninga's taken over the goal kicking with David Furner off the field. Not an easy one for Big Mal, who has decided to stay with the Raiders next season, and he's pushed it well wide. When he's on, his goal kicking's great. There's been a few off days over the years. Canberra 30, Cronulla 12.
Had a lot more control in their play, Cronulla, in this half, and that shows on the scoreboard too. I think they're winning the second half 6-4. But a lot more control.
John, it just shows you, doesn't it, that any team can beat another. There's Gary Belcher left the field, but any team can beat another. We saw the first 20 minutes, Cronulla really took it to a team that's up there with the leaders.
They did play well early. Time in possession's the key, Warren. If you can get 3 or 4 or even 5 minutes up on a team in a half of football, you can bet that they're doing it tough, the other mob.
Mitch Hill is also struggling there. He's being called for attention.
Stealing the ball, and now the Raiders go right on the attack. I'll take this 10 metres out. Wesley. Stopped by Quinn. Now it's Pongia. Now what have the Raiders got in store here? On the blind side again, Lomax, Walters, dummies to Furner. The back line is waiting to pounce. Wesley has another go.
Well, here go the 2 big passes.
Yep. They're all standing wide.
Predictable.
Here it goes. Stewart cuts out Croker to Daly to Meninga. Now it's Furner. Great backup from David Furner. Last tackle coming up. Only 5 metres out. Cronulla hanging on. Stewart pops it through. Daly gives chase. On the ground. Cronulla are offside. Came off a Cronulla player and went forward. Dived on by Hudson. Quick tap. Stewart flings it out to Walters. Quinn came up to make a tackle. Meninga, here's danger now. Out it goes to Hoppy for the corner. He tries to duck under the tackle of Evans, but he got him. They've still got plenty of tackles up their sleeve. Wesley. Cronulla having to see out 12 tackles here in a row. And no panic from the Raiders. Out it comes to Croker. Back inside to Daly. Here it is. Steve Walters finally outnumbers them. Keeping it alive, Canberra. They didn't do anything silly. They knew with that much possession, they had to be a chance inside the Cronulla 20, and finally there it was. Canberra 34, Cronulla 12. Just good, solid, methodical football here. Nothing real fancy about it. Keeping the ball alive. The dummy from Stewart. Out it goes to Daly. Croker almost pulled away himself there for number 4. And finally, Daly again on to Steve Walters. Ferner right in front of the sticks. Meninga had the last shot at goal, but Ferner's got this one. And straight between the posts. And the Raiders now running away to a handsome lead. It's 36-12, and there's 5 minutes to go. And of course, Tim Sheens has signed up with Canberra for another few years through till 1986. The days when a coach got tired of the scene at one particular club after 2 or 3 years are gone. The good coaches are signing up for extended stays. As the pass comes back inside, intended for Eddinghausen from Davidson. And he's got it back as it came off a Canberra hand. A little lucky because Eddinghausen went without it. They swing it wide. Samet, Quinn, Evans. They telegraphed it a little. Evans knocked in the face. As John Lomax leads the field, and now
that was
Canberra
ridiculous.
With it.
Walters was standing alongside him there.
And Druker down on the halfway.
Well, the Kiwi connection's been very valuable for the Raiders this afternoon. Both Pongi and Lomax have had 31 hit-ups between the two of them. So they certainly have worked overtime today.
And there's a replacement on for Lomax for Canberra. Looks like Steve Trindle from the under-21s. A good hit by Quinn. He came in hard on Boyle. There's Steve Trindle for Canberra in jersey 34. So the young fellow's been given a run here by Tim Sheens. Stewart. Long ball for Croker. He's outside Aaron Raper. Away he goes. Is this number 4? Croker for the corner. Yes! Try number 4 for Jason Croker. And I tell you what, he's been to sprint training. He is flying today, Croker. I know that he has played in the backs in the past, but he's been in the forwards more often than not lately, and he is absolutely blitzing them today. Look at this. He gets outside Aaron Raper, just pure acceleration, left him way behind, and sets his sights for that corner, and they just couldn't get to him. Samet across, desperate tackle, too late.
Yeah, the long pass here, a great ball here by Ricky Stewart, and he has tremendous pace. I think he surprised everybody. He used to play on the wing, so it's been a very good move there from Tim Sheens to put him in a lock forward position.
Well, we don't see 4 tries in a match by an individual very often. Steve Renoff did it a few weeks back, but Croker has now made a tries in the 4th, 22nd, 60th and 79th minute.
Yeah, and has an outstanding game too. He's been there doing the hard work off his line. His defence has been first class. He's been everywhere.
Well, no wonder he's smiling.
Yeah. It's his 9th try of the year. 4 of them today.
Warren, that was just a case of Aaron Raper being caught out wide.
And generally Cronulla being run off their feet by the sheer speed of this Canberra side. David Ferner has kicked 4 goals today. And the ball just toppled over as he came to it. Canberra players standing at halfway. They know that the game is over.
John, do you know if the Sharks have made any major signings for next year?
No, Benny. I'm only interested in one club at the moment.
Ferner. Oh, beautiful kick. Fine kick to finish with. And Cronulla a little embarrassed by the final scoreline, but it just shows you what a potent force Canberra are, because Cronulla, for some 60-odd minutes of the game, played with great football. And there it is, Aaron Raper just beaten on the outside by Croker. Meninga was in support, but he wasn't needed. So too Nandruku. And one of the lesser lights of the Canberra side puts the icing on a very big cake today. All they say, Cronulla competitive, but they've been smashed by Canberra, 42 points to 12.
Winfield Cup action in Aussie League on 2 was proudly presented by Channel 2 and Lion Red.